Okay, the next thing we're going to do is work on the screen. As you get smaller, we want certain things to happen. And that can all be done, most of it can be done with CSS instead of JavaScript. I like to use CSS wherever possible. And this is part of that. You can do the same thing you're going to do here with JavaScript, but CSS seems to be smoother in a browser and the whole bit. Alright, so we go down here to the bottom of our main.css, and here's some code here. Now I'm going to do some readjusting. So I put a comment here for my purposes that I'm going to be readjusting below this. And also I've tabbed this over twice. All this code down here is going to be tabbed over, and that's doesn't matter. You can have it over at the left all the way, but to me it just stands out like, okay, this is different. Now CSS, I think it was 3, maybe we're on 4. I can't remember what version of CSS is running now on most browsers, but whatever it is, this seems to work really well. Use the @ sign and then media, and we're going to be looking at our screen. Okay, and then here's the width. Now I don't know, I can't explain all of this, just type it as it is. Basically what we're telling the browser to do, and you have curly brackets out here that encapsulate this whole bit of styling, and whenever the screen is below 1000 pixels wide. Okay, so I'm giving it a max width of 1000. If I'm beyond 1000, these changes aren't made. But if I'm below 1000, below my max width here, I'm going to make these changes. Now, if you go up here to the top, here's the links, right? So let's go back and look at the links way up here. The links div right here. I put a margin of 15 pixels. No, I'm sorry. What am I thinking? This is the one we're talking about. Excuse me, the div with an ID of links. I have margin top is at -90, and so that takes these boxes and moves them up over top of my picture just a little bit. So that is my margin top. Also, what else was it? I forget what the other thing was. That was it, margin top. And so what I'm doing so I have margin top already signified there. What I'm doing down here is I'm changing that. So whenever I get below 1000 pixels, I want to drop everything down to just below this picture, not above it. Alright, so it gets rid of the -90 pixel top margin and gives it a 0 pixel top margin. Same with down here, links. I'm looking at every div in the links, and if we go up here, links div, I have display of inline table that puts them across the page horizontally. I also have a margin of 15 pixels. If I go down here, I'm changing them to block. That's going to have them stacked on top of each other down the screen. And I'm changing the margin, instead of 15 pixels all the way around, I'm giving 20 pixels on top and bottom, and then auto to make them centered in the div. Now also, before we had given them auto a fixed height of like 350 or 300 and I forget what was that, 340 maybe? Yes, 340. A fixed height of 340. But now I just want them to be auto, based on the content inside of the box. Next, down here, I'm going to go through each one of these divs individually and give them a width of 85%. Whereas up here, they have a width of 25%. Alright, so that seems to be good. Let's go ahead and save that and refresh our page. Let me bring this over so we can get wider. Now as we go out here, this is above 1000 pixels wide for the whole screen. But as I go down and I get to maybe iPad tablet size, now my changes were made. My boxes are no longer, they get too thin as they get down. This is about the thinnest I would ever want them. And then, bam, they turn to this. And from here I can go as small as I want to, and they still look good. So I can get them on a cell phone. See, this would be about a cell phone size. We may have to do some adjusting with the cell phone size, because now we have this fixed margin at the bottom. Maybe we can make that a little thinner. I don't know. But we'll deal with that later. Hopefully you get the idea of what's going on here. And we'll leave the video at that, let you play around with it, and then the next time we'll do some more of this. We're going to do the menu bar up here next video. As we get smaller right about in there, we want to switch to the other menu bar that's right now hidden. Okay.